Terlebih lagi, wellness tourism merupakan perwujudan daripada quality tourism jika kita lihat lamanya tinggal para wisatawan. Dan ini karena wisatawan perlu menginap paling tidak selama 1 minggu. Wellness tourism dalam potensi ekonomi global memberikan kontribusi yang tinggi, tercatat terjadi kenaikan dari 4,2 triliun di tahun 2017 menjadi US dollar 4,5 triliun di tahun 2019. Well, tourism diperkirakan akan meningkat di tahun 2022. Ini dengan rata-rata pertumbuhan 7,5% per tahun dan ini sekitar 18% dari total pariwisata global. Momentum ini akan terus berlanjut dan masyarakat global semakin sadar tentang pentingnya kesehatan mereka dan pariwisata kesehatan akan bernilai 1 triliun US dollar dalam waktu tidak terlalu lama. Pesatnya pertumbuhan wellness tourism merupakan peluang bagi bisnis kebugaran dan seluruh segmen industri perjalanan, serta bisnis yang terkaitnya di dalam negeri. Indonesia punya potensi medical tourism yang besar berdasarkan hasil kajian dari pertumbuhan perawatan medis dan medical wellness. Indonesia sampai dengan tahun 2024 diproyeksikan sebesar 13,5% dan hal ini didukung dengan potensi Indonesia yang kaya seperti situs-situs pemandian air panas. Masyarakat Indonesia sejak lama gemar melakukan perjalanan untuk penyembuhan dan persoalan-persoalan kesehatan seperti kulit, pernapasan, dan juga tentunya untuk relaksasi dari otot-otot. Indonesia juga kaya akan destinasi ekoturism yang memadukan keindahan alam dan aktivitas yang menyehatkan, seperti hiking, menyelam, atau snorkeling. Selain itu, Indonesia juga kaya akan produk rempah-rempah yang bermanfaat untuk meningkatkan daya tahan tubuh, perawatan tubuh, kecantikan, pengobatan, dan aromaterapi yang tentunya kita harus maksimalkan potensi tersebut. Wisata kesehatan harus terus dikembangkan dengan pengelolaan wellness tourism yang profesional. Setelah itu perlu dipromosikan secara luas, baik turis domestik maupun mancanegara yang tentunya akan semakin meminati wisata kesehatan di Indonesia. Saya sangat mendukung upaya pengembangan wisata kebugaran berbasis kekayaan lokal yang sekarang sedang dilakukan di 3 prioritas wilayah, yaitu Solo, Yogyakarta, dan Bali. Pengembangan wellness tourism berbasis pada kearifan lokal tentu mencakupi juga pengembangan industri makan minum seperti herbal drink alami, aromaterapi, makanan sehat dengan bahan baku lokal, dan diharapkan mampu mendorong inovasi obat-obatan herbal dan makanan sehat lokal yang tentunya akan menambah ketahanan sistem imunitas tubuh masing-masing. Hadirin yang berbahagia, wellness tourism di Indonesia tidak hanya terbatas berbasis kearifan lokal, tetapi juga kombinasi antara inovasi dan teknologi dengan peralatan dan metode terkini, serta penguatan destinasi berbasis produk maupun jasa wellness. Dengan pendekatan tersebut, diharapkan destinasi dan produk wellness akan semakin berkualitas dan berdaya saing.
Dan industri pariwisata dan ekonomi kreatif mengalami keterpurukan. Alhamdulillah dengan penanganan pandemi yang lebih baik, terkendali, hari ini saya mau tanya Pak Wali Kota, berapa okupansi hotel Pak di Solo dengan adanya beberapa event ini? 100%, terima kasih untuk kita semua. Sampai-sampai Pak Odo nggak dapat tempat di Alila. Padahal Pak Odo ini favorit hotelnya Pak Odo. Tapi Pak Odo, mohon maaf Pak Odo. Pak Odo mesti kasih kepada para peserta yang ingin merasakan bagaimana the sensasi of Solo, terutama the village, health village yang kita ciptakan di sini. Dan saya yakin industri yang tahan terhadap krisis ini adalah industri wellness. Terutama setelah pandemi, health becomes the priority of everybody. The people prioritize health. And preventive and promotive now is becoming an unstoppable trend. Bahwa mereka ingin agar sehat itu dengan mencegah dan mempromosikan gaya hidup sehat. Dan wellness tourism ini adalah yang meriset pariwisata, dan wellness tourism menjadi kunci pemulihan pariwisata nasional dan global. Saya melihat bahwa wellness tourism ini betul-betul menjadi pilihan utama. Sekarang banyak yang ngomong tentang healing. Betul atau betul? Healing itu ngapain sih? Benerin feeling. Supaya feeling kita lebih baik. Dan hari ini di sini kita bicara mengenai wellness tourism. Sekarang menjadi tren. Terutama anak-anak muda. Mau kemana? Healing nih. Healing itu about wellness tourism. Indonesia ada di peringkat ke-17 sebagai negara pasar tujuan wisata kebugaran. Mestinya kita ada di top 5. Nah ini PR yang sangat besar karena ternyata wellness tourism ini menciptakan 1,3 juta lapangan kerja baru dan berkualitas. mulai dari jamu, tadi sudah disampaikan, garam yang sehat. Bu Heli punya garam yang sehat dari mana ya Bu Heli ya? Dari Papua. Ada juga beberapa produk-produk yang sangat mendorong wellness. Dan ternyata ada dari tanah bumi Indonesia dan kearifan lokal. Hari ini saya belajar juga ternyata yoga, Java juga punya yoga namanya Beksan. Saya pengen belajar juga itu. Bisa kita favoritkan di desa-desa wisata sebagai salah satu kegiatan pagi. Karena mungkin kalau yang jogging atau sepeda itu mungkin sudah sering. Tapi kalau misalnya kita dorong di desa-desa wisata seputar Solo sebagai wellness tourism ini merupakan suatu tren yang sangat baru. Kuncinya adalah local wisdom. The key is local wisdom. Because wellness tourism is about understanding what locals do to promote health and wellness. Bersama Yogyakarta dan Bali, Solo ini sekarang menjadi destinasi yang fokus pada wellness tourism. Malah ada tagline-nya, Solo, the wellness city. Oleh karena itu, potensi tinggi untuk wellness tourism ini harus kita dorong. Solo punya produk-produk jamu dan herbal dan kegiatan kebugaran lainnya, dan hari ini ditambah satu, yaitu Javanese Yoga. Penting komitmen dan dukungan penuh. Tadi saya sangat berbahagia Ibu Penny sudah menyampaikan, dan tepuk tangan dulu untuk BPOM, Bu Penny yang akan memberikan kemudahan dalam perizinan dan kemudahan bagi pemangku kepentingan mengembangkan potensi tersebut. Tahun ini International Wellness Tourism Conference and Festival 2022 mengusung temanya sangat relevan. Sustainability Strategy for the Recovery and Growth of World Tourism through Wellness Tourism for All. Ini panjang tapi intinya Wellness Tourism for Recovery. Bahwa kita akan mendiskusikan isu-isu terkini. Kita akan promosikan and showcasing, tadi baru dilihat beberapa produk dari perusahaan-perusahaan besar dan UMKM. Karena ternyata wellness tourism ini is about democratizing health. Mendemokratisasi kesehatan. Kesehatan itu juga bisa disupport bukan hanya oleh rumah sakit besar, tapi oleh UMKM-UMKM. Inilah konsep daripada wellness tourism. Dan kita akan memfasilitasi networking, business matching. Nah, saya ingin juga bahwa ide-ide yang terhimpun di conference ini akan menjadi rencana aksi nasional 2022-2026 tentang wellness tourism. Oke, health tourism kita mesti mengakui banyak tetangga-tetangga kita yang sudah mengembangkan. Tapi kita akan kejar. Tapi kalau wellness tourism, we are so far ahead. Dan kita harus gunakan kesempatan ini untuk menghimpun pemerintah, swasta, asosiasi terkait, media, serta akademisi untuk memajukan wellness tourism ini. Siap semua?
Sehingga dapat bersaing dengan pelayanan kesehatan di negara lain. Dengan adanya peningkatan kualitas pelayanan kesehatan melalui transformasi kesehatan ini, diharapkan dapat mendukung peningkatan wisata kesehatan di Indonesia. Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, berdasarkan data versi Persatuan Rumah Sakit seluruh Indonesia di tahun 2021 menunjukkan bahwa 44 rumah sakit terakreditasi internasional, 26 diantaranya sudah memiliki sertifikat dari Joint Commission International atau JCI, dan satu rumah sakit telah mendapatkan akreditasi dari Accreditation Council of Healthcare Standards atau ACHS. 13 rumah sakit terakreditasi dan oleh Komite Akreditasi Rumah Sakit KAS internasional, dan 4 rumah sakit mendapatkan akreditasi dari JCI sekaligus KAS secara internasional. Selain daripada itu, sejumlah puskesmas, geria kesehatan, sarana pelayanan sehat pakai air telah memiliki SDM yang terlatih untuk memberikan layanan yang mendukung wisata kesehatan. Bapak dan Ibu sekalian, saat ini beberapa rumah sakit di Indonesia telah tersedia outlet jamu tradisional dan pelayanan pijat tradisional untuk kebugaran serta paket wisata yang terdiri dari wisata pelayanan SPA, yang terintegrasi dengan wisata alam, wisata artifisial, dan diakhiri dengan wisata belanja dan kuliner.
Dan pas lagi gitu ya dengan kondisi COVID di mana orang lebih perhatian, concern terhadap kesehatannya. Sehingga kemudian kita melihat peluang begitu besar dari wellness kita. Kita bicara wellness, Indonesia luar biasa di produk wellness sebenarnya sudah banyak. Mulai dari, sudah dibahas dari tadi pagi, dari herbal drink, dari kemudian kegiatan aktivitas yoga, aktivitas spa. Nah memang dulu orang selalu berpikir kalau wellness itu mostly adalah spa. Hanya sebatas stop di pijit memijit ya, dalam artian yang ini yang benar ya, pijit-pijit benar, bukan yang macam-macam ya, maksudnya ke sana. Akhirnya kita sumber daya manusia memang kemudian terus kita dorong untuk menjadi terapis-terapis. Di sini ada ahlinya, di sini ada Mustika Ratu di mana memang banyak sekali mengembangkan terapis. Nah, kita lihat kemudian berkembang, ternyata wellness ini tidak hanya kaitannya dengan tadi pijit-memijit. Nah, kemudian kita lihat Kementerian Pariwisata itu di mana ya sebenarnya? Kan pada ujung-ujungnya sebenarnya Kementerian Pariwisata itu mendorong bagaimana wisatawan banyak datang ke Indonesia gitu ya untuk memang menikmati atau kemudian membeli hal yang kaitannya dengan wellness. Kedua, bagaimana orang Indonesia sendiri, tadi kan kita lihat Korea bagaimana sudah majunya dia mengembangkan wellnessnya. Masa kita nggak bisa sih gitu ya kita mengembangkan ini. Nah makanya kemudian strategi kami ini satu kaitannya, jadi selalu dengan 4 pilar kalau pariwisata. Satu strategi adalah pengembangan produk dan destinasinya. Kita lihat produk wisata kaitannya dengan wellness ini masih sangat terbatas. Kita bicara mengenai paket wisata yang kaitannya tadi seperti dilihat di Korea itu sangat sedikit gitu. Nah, kedua, kita tuh belum nge-branding banget Mbak. Kita sebenarnya banyak sekali potensi tapi kita belum meng-branding Indonesia as wellness destinations. Ini salah satu upaya kita bersama juga bagaimana Indonesia as wellness destination. Tapi kemudian where is the destinations? Nah itu makanya kita taruh 3. Pertama memang Bali, mau nggak mau Bali sudah cukup dikenal. Tapi masa cuman Bali sih sementara kita punya banyak lain. Akhirnya kita pikir oke, kita mulai di Jawa yaitu di Jogja dan di Solo. Dan kebetulan Pak Wali, Mas Walinya itu mendeklarasi sebagai Java Wellness City gitu. Jadi ini pas sekali untuk kemudian kita dorong. Jadi 3 tempat ini juga tadi sudah disampaikan oleh Pak Menteri dan kemudian ke depan adalah bagaimana mempertemukan, menggabungkan tadi antara industri produk wellness dengan industri tourism. Nah ini yang kita harus kaitkan dan kemudian bagaimana membuat paket-paket wisata yang kaitan dengan wellness. Nah kita bicara tadi banyak sekali healing. Tadi kalau saya lihat kan di situ kan kita punya hutan. Nah, ini juga sedang berkembang tapi kita belum pernah bersama-sama. Makanya conference 3 hari ini Mbak Vita kita harapkan teman-teman semua di industri pariwisata dan industri wellness kita duduk bareng kemudian kita membuat mana nih destinasi satu, ini teman-teman dari Dinas Pariwisata juga saya lihat tadi banyak punya potensi. Jadi sebenarnya tidak harus membangun sesuatu yang besar, tapi apa yang ada kemudian kita tambahkan tadi activity wellness-nya tadi gitu ya. Dan juga penyiapan sumber daya manusia, karena sumber daya manusia menjadi sangat penting di dalam pengembangan wellness ini. Jadi ke depan kami akan melakukan terus kolaborasi, tadi Mas Menteri selalu menyampaikan kita berkolaborasi dengan industri wellness, kemudian produk-produk wellness, kemudian industri pariwisata dan untuk bersama-sama kita membrandingkan Indonesia atau menjual Indonesia menjadi destinasi wellness. Mungkin itu Mbak Vita dari saya. Terima kasih.
So where does wellness tourism fit into all this equation and where we are in our moment of recovery? Just to give you a little bit of a background, and according to WTO definition, wellness tourism together with medical tourism are part of a wider definition of health tourism. And we define it as forms of tourism which has as the primary motivation, and this is important, we need always to look into what is the primary motivation of the person that decides to take a specific experience or go to a specific destination. So, as I was saying, health tourism is that has a primary motivation to contribute to the physical, mental, spiritual health through medical and wellness activities, which increase the capacity of individuals to satisfy their own needs and to function better within their environment and society. So as you can see, it is an holistic approach to the role that tourism can help in bringing the best balance between environment, society, and individuals.
Review of the foundational elements of wellness and wellness tourism. First, what is wellness? Well, it is the active pursuit of activities, choices, and lifestyles that lead to a state of holistic health. And it's helpful to think of wellness, as you can see in this model here, of physical, mental, social, spiritual, emotional, and environmental aspects. And now, this is a good infographic of the global wellness economy that shows all the sectors that are now included in this ecosystem. As you can see, the global wellness economy is a $4.4 trillion economy. And let me briefly mention each sector that you see in front of you, because you will see that all of them are opportunities for Indonesia. By growing each of these sectors, it will help accelerate your wellness tourism. In order of size, the first large circle is personal care and beauty. Then physical activity, nutrition, wellness tourism is the purple one. Prevention and public health, traditional and complementary medicine, wellness real estate, mental wellness, the spa economy, thermal mineral springs, and workplace wellness. Understanding wellness tourism a bit more is also a good foundation. Wellness tourism is travel associated with the pursuit of maintaining or enhancing one's personal well-being. And this slide shows the two sections of wellness tourism. There is a distinction between a primary and secondary wellness traveler. For a primary wellness traveler, wellness is the sole purpose or motivating factor for their trip and destination choice. For a secondary wellness traveler, and that is the largest segment, is maintaining wellness being the reason for the motivation of their trip. Now, this slide shows on the left the split of how many people are traveling as primary travelers or secondary travelers. And generally that split is about 89% secondary wellness travelers and 11% primary. And then on the right, take note that the average expenditure per trip is 50 to 180% higher than for the average tourist. Therefore, the wellness traveler, and I'm sure you know this already, it's a high yield tourist. Next is a very important slide that I want to spend a little time on. This one shows medical tourism and wellness tourism side by side. On the left, you'll see medical, illness, reactive, conventional, medically oriented approaches to solve problems. And on the right is a more wellness tourist and wellness tourism, which is about prevention. It's more proactive, it's integrated, wellness-oriented approaches to improve quality of life. Both are very important, but they are distinct. And our experience has shown that a consumer is not likely to be looking for both at the same time. It's one or the other. We have also learned that marketing them separately is most effective. Now, let's compare these from a revenue point of view. You can see here in this slide that in 2019, the medical tourism market globally was around 90 billion and wellness tourism around 639 billion. That is 7 times larger. So that's a big difference, and one of the reasons I congratulate you on putting a focus on wellness tourism. Now, let's take a look at the most recent figures at wellness tourism during COVID and our researchers' projections for the future. This slide gives a good picture of how wellness tourism did over the past years. While there was a robust level of wellness tourism in 2019, as I had already mentioned, it was very robust at the time, wellness tourism plummeted in 2020, the first year of COVID. It went down almost 40%. Obviously. The projection, however, is for that to recover. And ultimately, we do expect revenues to go over the $1 trillion mark by 2025. Now here's a fun chart I thought you might enjoy. Every destination has something unique to offer in terms of health and wellness. Frequently, these are related to their culture and indigenous health practices. Some examples that you can see here are, for example, Finland, the sauna, Morocco, hammam, Mexico has the temescal, Japan, the onsen, Indian Ayurveda, and so forth. And what we added here for Indonesia is the Balinese or Javanese massage. Because of the increasing interest from governments around the world to develop their wellness tourism, the GWI, Global Wellness Institute, this year added a section to our website called The Geography of Wellness. Currently, Singapore, Brazil, and Thailand are featured. And I am happy to say that thanks to your Ministry of Tourism, Indonesia will be visible quite soon, probably later this month. Trends. I was asked to share with you some trends that might be worth keeping in mind as you create a strong strategy to develop your wellness tourism. So while there are many trend reports on our Global Wellness Summit website, I selected 5 trends that I thought might be of particular interest and application for Indonesia. They include the trend of nature, mental wellness, immunity, wellness sabbaticals, and healthcare self-care. Nature is nourishing and healing, and Indonesia has an abundance of nature, as you know, with your forests, rainforests, volcanoes, waterfalls. So it's an ideal place for people to come for their wellness tourism experience. Next, mental wellness. We are seeing mental wellness taking center stage. Meditation, healthy sleep, and even spiritual pursuits are becoming more important to people. Third, the trend is about immune health. The pandemic obviously put a spotlight on the importance of strong immunity. So evidence-backed immune health is an increasing reason for people to travel. Fourth, wellness sabbaticals. The wellness sabbatical addresses the need for people to find a balance between the pursuit of wellness and the need to work. And with the trend in working remotely that has come along because of the pandemic, we are seeing longer stays at properties as people choose wellness workations. And finally, take a look at this model that we call healthcare and self-care. It's a 5th trend that we see is resonating with consumers as well as the medical professionals. And it's especially because of that this is the best chance for health going forward. It is a combination, both healthcare and self-care. And self-care is another way to look at wellness.
When we look at the spectrum of wellness travel, we need to mention health travel, which is an umbrella, and it ranges from hedonism down to spirituality and holism, when someone really is dedicated and understands very well what he or she may want and what would like to get out of it. In that spectrum, most organizers and most participants in this event, as well as destinations and industry participants, can really find where they could locate themselves. What would be the best point, which stage they can be on this whole spectrum. And this is a great opportunity, since we also understand that while it used to be the case that people were very happy to have some health services, health improving or well-being improving services, and they needed to have and still need to have medical services, but they wanted to have certain kind of wellness services. What's changed? That they want more. And that leaves us with great amount of opportunities and range of opportunities. They want to have anything and everything, however small that is, that can contribute to their well-being. Even the smallest enterprise, an individual providing just personal services, up until corporations can find their way in which they can be involved in this well-being, improving value propositioning. You need to find, and this is where governments can come in and provide the necessary asset maps, development guides, marketing guides that help service providers, individual properties, as well as destinations, how these general trends can be adapted to an island, to a shore, to a mountain, to a community, to a country, because this is very generic at the moment. But the beauty of wellness is that you can really find a way in which you can create your own version of this. This is where we need the involvement of governments as well as industry parties. When you look at destination level development tasks and participants, you can see what we call the destination well-being landscape. And this landscape really illustrates how many important roles, participants we need to work together with. Otherwise, our results will be suboptimal. We need to understand what technology can do for us, not as a result, but more like as a tool, what kind of treatments and services we can create, a signature in particular, which is specific to us or a local destination, how it works with the local economy, how we can involve local SMEs, how hospitality plays a role, and what community can do in all this, and what they can benefit from it. Especially, we expect it to be regenerative. So we are giving back directly. Don't forget, without education and governance, this would be a very sporadic project and development. You need the guidance, you need the education, as well as formal level, as well as industry level. So which directions we can choose? Let me introduce just the four main directions, which is from Valusion, when it just appears to be wellness orientated, although it's very, very little related to it. The wellnessification, which is really going through the whole DNA of the service provider, let it be a DMC, let it be a F&B provider, let it be a hospitality provider. Well-entertainment, when we combine entertainment, recreation with the wellness provision, and the well-eminent, who is eminent in whatever that organization is doing. They don't want to do everything and anything. They just want to do one thing, but they do it at the highest level possible. Let me give you a couple of examples, and this is one of those, which is an entertainment as well as a well-eminent example, and you can see this is not a development dependent idea, more like a value creation idea, that you want to be COVID applicant and also want to create something which is visually pleasing as well as an experience. And of course, it's a yoga place where you just cut the grass in places where individuals would practice yoga and keep the grass between. It looks like a check table. But also a chess table, and also don't forget that this is just an idea. This is not what we need to copy. This is what we need to consider and apply to destinations. Or another one, which is wellnessification of a totally different service, which is practicing yoga in an art museum, because the word love and the art or arty environment being, and this is the ways in which we can create opportunities to small and medium-sized enterprises. So when you look at businesses, what they're doing, you can see four major directions and four major areas in terms of, are they looking at it as a high-yield business, they're looking at it as a local artisan brand, they're looking at it as a core business, or looking at for specialist distribution. This is where you need guidance, this is where you need governmental, industry association guidance and help and mentoring, because enterprises, small and medium enterprises, destinations may not know which direction to go, and you need to introduce the opportunities as well as the risks associated to either of these directions. What we can really consider in the long term is that guests may find and locate themselves along this spectrum. They might want to try a well-being improving service because they are curious, they are hedonistic. They may want to try it because they look at it as a traditional heritage practice or tradition, what the locals have been practicing for hundreds of years, or they look at it as just one of the generic wellness jacuzzi overlooking a beautiful sea or ocean, or they practice it because that's part of their lifestyle and they would like to do anything what the locals do or anything locally available as part of their lifestyle, or they really are very focused and holistic and living according to spirituality rules. this is when you really need to find your element. This is where you need to find where you would like to be. You can't do all, you can't do many at the same time, but you can do one, you can do two, and this is when you need to be very specific about. So I would like to leave you with a couple of takeaway moments and considerations. So don't think of wellness as something that you build some buildings for. You need to create stories, you need to create value propositioning. Wellness means a lot of things to a lot of people. There is no generic terminology here, and that leaves us with opportunities. And also, you may miss less mainstream alternatives because you want to follow the crowd. So what I would suggest to any one of you to consider is to map local well-being assets. Let it be cultural, let it be natural, let it be spiritual, whatever it is, map them. And based on those, define the pillars of your understanding of what wellness may be. Obviously, looking at Bali, looking at various small destinations, they have been already doing a wonderful job. They're showing the way, showing examples, and we can learn from those examples. You can wellnessify services, let it be just a pickup from the airport, to create an Indonesian or an island-specific welcome, which really contributes to long-haul travel and helping jet lag in terms of drinks, in terms of mantras, whatever that is. And we can create those wellness-related stories and show options for SMEs. Without those options and without the mentoring, they might find this difficult and challenging. But looking at the assets, the history, the tradition and the culture of Indonesia, I'm more than certain that Indonesia as a country, as well as various islands and destinations, really will be enjoying an amazing role in international as well as domestic travel.
Actually, you know more about what is health and wellness tourism. Any kind of happiness, wellness tourism is associated with undertaking tourism activities to enhance and improve personal, physical, mental, spiritual well-being. The demand for health lifestyle, desire to reduce stress, and desire to prevent illness are the primary factors that are boosting the demand for the wellness tourism. Generally, Ayurveda is a base for all kind of wellness tourism as an alternative medicine. There are some questions coming up from the people globally, across the globe. People are asking some questions like, how can I live happily long time in this world? This is a big question now. How can I live long? From where I will get better breath? From where I will get better food? See, always we purchase, even, for example, we purchase mobile. We always think about what is the battery backup, is it user-friendly, is it reliable, what is the pricing, everything. But before we take food, we never think, or we never research about where this food is coming from, what is the ingredients of the food, where it is prepared, nothing. So now people are more and more concerned about their health. They wanted to live long, happily. So people are finding solutions for how to make it better well-being situations in our life. Health, wellness, tourism is associated with undertaking tourism activities to enhance and improve personal, physical, mental, and spiritual well-being. The demand for health lifestyle, desire to reduce the stress, as we discussed before, and desire to prevent the illness are the primary factors that are boosting the demand for the wellness tourism across the world. The tourism undertakes spiritual, physical, mental activities by visiting spa centers, doing yoga centers and yoga retreats, visiting health resorts and fitness resorts, and meditation retreats, etc.
Next.
So serious health and wellness packages you can offer. Generally, people are coming for 2 days, 3 days, maybe 1 day, but you can increase the number of nights in health and wellness tourism. How can you increase the that stay? Minimum period of stay is 7 nights. In India, many people from abroad, Europe, Far East, Middle East, people are coming for 7 nights minimum. Maybe they can stay there for 14 nights, 21 nights, and 28 nights based on the treatments. Rejuvenation and purification programs, generally they can stay for 7 nights. Obesity program, definitely we need 21 nights. Beauty care program, 7 nights or 10 nights. Detoxification program, stress management program, depression, anxiety programs, that also need 14 to 21 days. Anti-aging program, maybe it's take another 10 to 15 days for this treatment. Yeah. Immunity programs, post-COVID packages, treatment for sleeping disorders, programs for neck and spinal, abdominal issues. The people who are working in the IT industry or any other industry, they are facing such issues. Cancer care, some medicines, cancer is curable, some not curable, it's controllable. Rehabilitation programs, treatment for arthritis, spondylosis, abdominal issues, bone and joint care programs. So these are all strengthened and lengthiest day programs.
Bahwa di masa pandemi ini, dengan adanya kesadaran masyarakat untuk hidup sehat, maka ada peningkatan demand terhadap traditional medicine. Traditional medicine atau obat tradisional Indonesia, 95% diproduksi secara lokal, hanya 5% yang secara impor. Demikian juga penggunaan kosmetik. Jadi untuk penggunaan kosmetik ada peningkatan untuk protokol kesehatan, misalnya hand sanitizer, hand moisturizer. Nah, tentu ini adalah potensi yang harus kita garap bersama. Badan POM bersama kementerian, lembaga, pemerintah daerah, swasta, bahwa 87% pelaku usaha obat tradisional adalah UMKM. Dan 62% pelaku usaha kosmetik adalah UMKM. Jadi lanjut, upaya-upaya yang dilakukan oleh Badan POM untuk melakukan pendampingan to increase the competitiveness of the thematic cosmetic in Indonesia traditional medicine is a very important steps, since the majority of the producer of the manufacturer is the micro, small and medium entrepreneur. Dari slide ini kami ingin memperkenalkan sedikit mengenai tematik kosmetik. Tadi sudah kami sampaikan bahwa setiap wilayah itu mempunyai keunikan, ya, mega biodiversity yang terus kita eksplorasi untuk bisa dimanfaatkan dan mendukung wellness tourism atau wisata kebugaran, di mana tadi Pak Menteri juga menyampaikan healing. Nah, tematik kosmetik ini akan memberikan healing yang sangat demand, lagi tren saat ini. Seperti contoh di sini kami melakukan pendampingan untuk garam kosmetik, ya, yang digunakan selain untuk body scrub juga bisa untuk relaksasi, ya, sambil melihat pemandangan, keseimbangan. Di sini kami contohkan misalnya untuk Bali terkenal dengan scrub bath salt cosmetic and also aromatherapy. Kemudian dari Central Java, famous with Palace Cosmetic Cafe. Dan untuk South Kalimantan, popular with the cold water cosmetic. Jadi bahwa Indonesia archipelago is rich with its mega biodiversity. Next.
What is the brutal fact? Brutal fact is that even though it was already a crisis before the pandemic hit, the deteriorating state of mental health and chronic diseases was fueled largely by the pandemic. Jadi ini adalah satu fakta yang sangat brutal, bahwa meskipun sebelum pandemik itu terjadi, ini sudah menjadi satu krisis. Sudah banyak kita mendengar bahwa banyak orang yang masuk ke dalam mental depresi, lalu sering pergi ke dokter, tapi tidak ditemukan penyakitnya apa. Akhirnya banyak yang namanya stres dan sebagainya. Nah, tetapi pada saat pandemi ini terjadi, ini sungguh-sungguh fase dari mental health ini semakin apa yang kita sebut deteriorating. Kita melihat beberapa fakta di sini. 32% dari banyak orang-orang mengatakan bahwa mereka mengalami anxiety atau depression. Dan ini umurnya sudah semakin rendah. Dan kebanyakan kita melihat usia 18 sampai 24 tahun sudah memasuki fase ini. Sudah semakin turun. Lalu kita melihat lagi fakta yang kedua. 42% dari kebanyakan penduduk di Amerika mereka mengalami kenaikan berat badan yang sangat signifikan, terutama pada masa pandemi. Dan kalau kita lihat, itu average-nya 13,6 kilo. Itu secara rata-rata. Kalau wanita, mohon maaf, mengandung 9 bulan, dokter mengatakan kurang lebih kenaikan berat badan di angka 12 sampai kira-kira 18 kilo. Nah ini seperti wanita yang mengandung nih, average dari orang-orang Amerika. Dan obesitas sudah sangat terjadi di anak-anak usia 5 sampai 11 tahun. Lalu yang ketiga, banyak sekali di Siloam kami melihat bahwa karena waktu pandemi banyak orang takut keluar, mereka stay home dan sebagainya. Memang tidak disalahkan ya, memang perlu untuk stay home. Tapi sudah tidak melakukan check up dengan rutin dan sebagainya. Akhirnya yang namanya manajemen dari chronic disease seperti diabetes, penyakit jantung, kanker dan sebagainya, akhirnya tidak terlalu optimal lagi. Dan memang kita melihat banyak sekali yang akhirnya deteriorasi pada saat pandemi itu. Jauh penurunan. Dan yang keempat, fakta yang keempat yang sangat brutal adalah orang-orang yang sudah mempunyai potensi untuk mempunyai penyakit-penyakit jantung, itu kebanyakan setelah COVID malah menjadi melunjak. Jadi potensinya jadi lebih tinggi. Nah itu tadi di dunia, sebelah kanan nih orang-orang Indonesia nih. Di Indonesia ini bagaimana? Ternyata anxiety level di Indonesia itu 4 dari 5 orang, mereka itu mengalami depresi, anxiety. Kenapa? Ekonomi lesu, mengalami penurunan dari gajinya, dan 2 dari 5 orang itu perempuan. 7 dari 10 juga mengalami anxiety. Karena apa? Di layoff dari pekerjaannya. Dan 5 dari mereka itu perempuan. Nah yang depresi ini 3 dari 5 itu sering mengalami kesedihan. Frequent sadness, bukan sad saja. Frequent sadness ini berulang. 2 dari antaranya perempuan, 2 dari 3 loh. Lah berikutnya adalah 6 dari 10 mereka yang mengalami pay cut tadi ya, juga mengalami yang namanya frequent sadness. Dan 3 dari antaranya perempuan. Jadi dunia ini sedang mengalami yang namanya kelelahan, lesu sekali. Dan akhirnya kita melihat bahwa yang namanya diagnosa-diagnosa yang related dengan stres itu semakin naik. Dan kita melihat bahwa dalam setiap conference, dalam setiap banyak hal ya, pembicaraan-pembicaraan tingkat dunia, tingkat negara, tingkat apa, yang namanya health dan wellness itu selalu diangkat. Meskipun cuma sedikit pasti ada. Ini menjadi satu trending topik, menjadi satu global darling, dan ini adalah satu, nah kalau di sini banyak pelaku bisnis, ini sebenarnya business opportunity, not in the new normal, but in the next normal. Itu yang sering disampaikan. Kita lihat deh, kira-kira kalau dari sisi ekonomi itu bagaimana? Kita lihat di sini, kalau secara global wellness market ya, itu kita lihat bahwa, ini dia. Jadi kita lihat di global wellness market ini, market size-nya itu size-nya besar. 1,5 triliun secara global. Dan sebenarnya sudah mengalami kenaikan tahunan 5-10%. Nah ini opportunity sekali. Lalu tren dari marketnya itu sendiri, itu kalau sebelum COVID itu minus 11%, kita sekarang plus 6,6%. Jadi ini sudah sangat naik sekali. Dan ini bisa kontribusi 4 kali GDP kita. Nah coba kita lihat yang di bagian medical tourism marketnya. Market growth-nya sendiri 16,04%. Ada incremental nanti potensially di 2025 kita memperkirakan di 16,88 billion dollar. Such a fragmented market. And then kira-kira 32% dari pertumbuhan itu mungkin akan didominasi oleh Amerika Utara. Di Asia sendiri bagaimana? Di Asia sendiri medical tourism market itu, nah kita kalau mau lihat wellness tourism, kita harus lihat potensinya dari medical tourismnya juga nih ya. Bahwa ya kalau kita lihat di Malaysia udah banyak sekali orang-orang yang overseas, 1,2 juta datang ke situ untuk menjadi pasien. Sayangnya 60%-nya orang Indonesia Bu, gitu. Dan di sana sudah ada lebih dari 10 pelaku-pelaku kesehatan yang baru. banyak negara-negara sudah mulai bersiap-siap nih untuk mulai invest di wellness. Seperti ini kita lihat ada Jepang, Hong Kong, Singapura, South Korea. Dan sebenarnya kita melihat memperkirakan future big players itu ada di sini nih. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon. Kenapa? Mereka udah mulai siap-siap jauh lebih awal dari kita. Nah, di sini slide yang berikutnya kita lihat wellness-nya sendiri. Nah, kalau wellness service-nya sendiri itu kira-kira 30% dari wellness spending di negara-negara tersebut. Dan sebenarnya potensi untuk meningkat sangat besar. Karena apa? Ini sudah menjadi prioritas secara global. Karena dunia selalu sudah lesu, citizennya mulai lesu, mengalami depresi dan sebagainya. Kalau semuanya depresi, siapa yang mau kerja? Semuanya depresi, bagaimana? Apa kabar ekonomi dari negara tersebut? Jadi ini sudah menjadi satu prioritas secara global. Maka kita dilakukan survei oleh McKinsey & Company, spending itu untuk wellness products dan service itu sudah 70 sama 30. Kita harus mulai sadar nggak? Kita mulai melihat-lihat yang namanya wearable ya, jam yang bisa ukur step misalnya. Kita mulai melihat bahwa sekarang trennya, saya kemarin tuh pergi ke toko bangunan, dan mereka bilang rame, penuh, semua renovasi. Jadi kebanyakan orang renovasi karena apa? Mereka mau space yang lebih di rumah. Lalu rumah di tingkat ke atas, meskipun space-nya kecil, perlu ada kolam berenang sedikit. Kenapa? Supaya bisa gerak. Jadi sudah mulai meningkat di sana. Mulai invest di apa namanya? Gym di rumah. Jadi orang-orang kita tuh sudah mulai tanggap terhadap wellness. Dan ini prioritas ini di dalam spending mereka sudah meningkat gitu ya. Lalu mereka juga mencanangkan budget-budget mereka untuk ke depan juga mulai mau spending ke wellness. Berikutnya. Nah ini sedikit saja. Nah, company-company di Amerika, mereka itu spendingnya sangat besar sekali untuk healthcare coverage. Jadi mungkin Bapak Ibu yang mempunyai usaha di sini, kira-kira berapa yang di-spend untuk biaya pengobatan karyawan? Nah, kalau di Amerika ini sekitar segini 810 M US dollar ya. 45%-nya untuk beli obatnya saja. Berarti khusus untuk mengobati. Nah, sebenarnya 70% dari 45% yang tadi dari obat-obatan itu adalah hal-hal yang bisa dicegah. Preventable diseases. Bisa diubah dengan lifestyle change, pemilihan-pemilihan yang lebih tepat dan sebagainya. Jadi sangat disayangkan sekali. Tapi ini adalah faktanya. Coba nanti Bapak Ibu sekalian yang memang pelaku bisnis melihat lagi. Kira-kira berapa sih yang di-spend untuk pengobatan karyawan? Berikutnya. Nah, ini yang lebih menarik lagi dari wellness. Wellness ini kedepannya nanti ini akan sangat banyak dibentuk oleh teknologi. Jadi mungkin kalau dulu banyak yang beranggapan bahwa yang namanya wellness identik dengan rumah sakit, identik dengan kesehatan, itu perlu dilakukan di rumah sakit. Tetapi di dunia-dunia barat dan di negara-negara maju sebenarnya sudah banyak yang melakukan wellness ini di non-traditional care delivery. Contohnya apa? Ada dua, side of service. Sekarang sudah mulai banyak orang lakukan injeksi di rumah, home care. Nah, atau mungkin mau check up di rumah, cek lab di rumah. Nah, lalu sudah banyak orang Indonesia pun yang masuk ke teleservices. Jadi telemedicine, konsultasi dokter dan sebagainya. Tinggal sedikit Bu. Lalu yang berikutnya adalah ambulatory. Ambulatory itu apa? Berarti dia punya kayak stand alone tempat. Misalnya di mall, di ruko, mungkin di rumah, ada rumah sehat dan sebagainya. Yang khusus melayani yang namanya wellness. Kita percaya kalau kita mau masuk ke wellness selalu harus ada baseline-nya. Kita taruh dari mana kalau kita ini sudah well? Kalau kita tidak punya baseline-nya. Gimana caranya untuk mengetahui baseline-nya? Kalau kita lihat anak kita raport, kita lihat dia udah maju belum ya? Kita harus tahu baseline-nya dia berapa, kemarin berapa anak kita rapotnya. Oh ternyata dia bertumbuh, ulangannya kemarin 70 sekarang 80, oh berarti udah lebih pintar. Sama, kita percaya bahwa yang step pertama adalah health screening. Jadi kita lakukan berbagai macam digitalisasi dan sebagainya supaya baseline itu kita bisa lihat. Nah, ini adalah beberapa services yang memang perlu dilihat. Kita semua akan menua, udah pasti kita akan menua. Tapi bagaimana kita menua? Beberapa hal, kita tidurnya sudah baik belum? Sleep quality management, bagaimana kita memanage hal itu? Memory management kita pasti akan pikun. Tapi bagaimana kita bisa memanage itu supaya kita pikunnya nggak terlalu cepat, gitu ya. Dan kita juga yang terakhir ini slide saya yang terakhir, ini sebagai respon terhadap modern healthcare ini adalah untuk perusahaan-perusahaan kita taruh dari mana? Kalau karyawan kita itu semakin sehat atau semakin parah, semakin buruk. Nah, kalau kita melakukan check up, kita ada yang namanya corporate health index. Harus diperhatikan. Tahun ke tahun divisi ini dibanding divisi itu siapa yang lebih parah, siapa yang lebih baik, bagaimana kita memonitor mereka. Banyak hal yang kita bisa lakukan, bisa melalui step challenge, ada health trackernya, dan bisa konsultasi secara online juga.
Lalu saya masuk untuk ke modern wellness di Korea. Jadi kalau kami pemerintah Korea sendiri itu membedakan menjadi 4 kategori, yaitu beauty and spa, beauty, traditional Korean medicine, dan medical tourism. Untuk beauty dan spa sendiri ini contohnya ada di area, sebenarnya ini benar-benar tersebar di seluruh Korea, cuman saya akan kasih contoh yang memang benar-benar terkenal dan sudah sering divisit oleh wisatawan asing termasuk Indonesia. Ini kalau di Seoul itu ada Seoul Wasu, dan ini juga mereka sebenarnya ada brand kosmetiknya sendiri. Lalu juga ada spa 1999 Donginbi. Ini kalau mereka itu andalannya itu adalah treatment menggunakan ginseng merah yang memang khas Korea. Lalu selain itu juga ada Resong Forest yang lebih bertema alam, dan Herb Island untuk tanaman-tanaman herbal. Lalu yang kedua ini ada beauty. Kalau beauty sendiri itu memang Korea kan memang sudah sangat terkenal ya dengan kosmetiknya. Mulai dari yang harganya terjangkau sampai yang memang ada premium juga. Biasanya yang premium-premium ini lebih menyasar untuk yang usianya itu sudah sekitar 40-an ke atas atau 30-an ke atas, karena ini untuk anti-aging. Dan berbelanja kosmetik biasanya ini udah masuk ke salah satu tujuan wisatawan Indonesia kalau mereka mau ke Korea. Lalu selanjutnya ada traditional Korean medicine. Kalau untuk Korean medicine ini yang tradisional, ini sebenarnya mirip-mirip seperti pengobatan China tradisional. Cuman mereka juga memakai diadaptasi juga, jadi seperti memakai herba-herba khas Korea seperti ginseng. Ini salah satunya kalau mau coba bisa ada di Yeongguk. Terus juga ini ada yang lebih unik sih, kalau Yeongguk itu kan memang untuk spa, untuk treatment. Cuman kalau misalnya lebih mau belajar, mau hands-on experience dan ngelihat theme park, ini ada Daegu yang Neonsea Museum. Ini jadi museum yang memang temanya adalah pengobatan tradisional Korea. Dan ada Dongibogam Village. Kalau ini lebih ke theme park, tapi temanya itu medicine. Jadi benar-benar di sana mereka ada banyak experience dan juga kayak pameran-pameran display tentang Korean medicine yang tradisional. Terus ini juga ada selanjutnya ada yang terkenal juga di kalangan Indonesia, wisatawan Indonesia, khususnya ini yang Seogwipo Healing Forest. Ini kalau Seogwipo ini khusus untuk orang yang mungkin suka atau ingin bermeditasi di tengah ketenangan hutan. Tapi hutan ini juga bukan sekedar hutan biasa, tapi sudah dilengkapi dengan berbagai macam fasilitas dan experience center yang pastinya memadai. Dan experience-nya ini juga macam-macam, dari misalnya ada acara yoga atau pelatihan untuk meditasi, cara bernapas yang baik untuk melepas stres dan sebagainya. Lalu yang terakhir juga ini salah satu yang udah diakui dunia juga untuk teknologinya, yaitu medical tourism. Untuk sekitar 5 tahun belakangan ini Korea memang lagi gencar untuk promo medical tourism, khususnya juga di Indonesia, karena juga kita lihat trennya itu setiap tahun wisatawan medis dari Indonesia itu semakin meningkat. Khususnya kalau untuk Korea mungkin image-nya adalah di plastic surgery ya, dan kebetulan ini memang plastic surgery di Korea ini sudah mendapat peringkat 1 di antara 25 negara anggota International Society of Plastic Surgery. Cuman Korea juga nggak melulu ingin dikenal tentang plastic surgery-nya aja nih, karena sebenarnya juga teknologi yang lainnya juga udah sangat memadai dan diakui, seperti misalnya untuk transplantasi ginjal. ini mereka keberhasilan tingkat transplantasi ginjal itu 92% dan ini udah cukup tinggi jika dibandingkan dengan United States yang hanya 85%. Terus juga untuk tingkat kematian untuk operasi yang berhubungan dengan jantung ini juga sangat rendah, yaitu hanya 0,6%. Terus juga untuk kesembuhan kanker, patient kanker, ini mereka nomor 1 di antara 4 negara, yaitu Korea, United States, dan Jepang. Lalu ini ada contoh-contoh rumah sakit baik untuk medis maupun plastic surgery yang memang sudah biasa handle foreign patients, termasuk dari Indonesia. Jadi kalau mereka itu biasanya untuk foreign patients itu menyediakan jasa interpreter juga. Dan ini kalau untuk yang plastic surgery yang terkenal banget di Indonesia itu JK Plastik, ini mereka udah cukup banyak pasien-pasien dari Indonesia, either untuk plastic surgery atau treatment untuk anti-aging-nya. Terus ini juga selanjutnya kita mau kasih rekomendasi untuk itinerary, misalnya ingin ke Korea, biar mungkin ke sana juga nggak cuman tujuannya ke rumah sakit aja, tapi benar-benar bisa menikmati Korea itu sebagai destinasi wisata. Ini kita merekomendasikan kalau misalnya memang mau relaxing ke sana, mau kayak program wellness ke sana itu untuk idealnya sih 8 hari biar nggak terlalu padat. Jadi mungkin kalau untuk diawalin, karena kan kita pasti kalau misalnya landing itu di daerah Incheon yang dekat Seoul. Jadi di 2 hari pertama itu mungkin kita bisa di Seoul untuk menikmati kebudayaan Koreanya. Jadi bisa visit palace atau bangunan-bangunan bersejarah di sana. Terus untuk hari ketiganya ini juga masih di daerah Seoul, tapi mulai bisa untuk kegiatan yang lebih ke wellness-nya sama treatment, pampering ourselves. Itu seperti bisa ke Seoul Wasu, terus juga di sorenya bisa menikmati ketenangan alam di Sungai Han yang memang udah menjadi landmarknya Korea. Di hari keempatnya kita bisa pindah ke Busan. Di sana itu terkenal dengan pesisir pantainya, jadi mungkin bisa santai-santai di sana, terus nyoba juga sauna Korea yang mungkin biasanya sering kita lihat di drama Korea, itu tradisional di sana, cuma ada di Korea aja. Dan bisa juga ke Gamcheon Culture Village yang ini pernah dikunjungi oleh Pak Jokowi dan Ibu Irina di tahun 2019. Lalu juga setelah itu mungkin bisa nyebrang lagi ke Jeju. Nah, kalau Jeju ini dia terkenal dengan pemandangan alamnya, dan kita mungkin bisa ke Jeju Ole Trail ini untuk hiking, olahraga, terus juga bisa nyoba untuk green tea-nya di Osoloksi. Ini yang memang sudah terkenal banget secara internasional. Day 6 juga masih ada di Jeju, mungkin bisa buat ya kegiatan-kegiatan yang lebih relaxing, tenang sebelum balik ke negara masing-masing. Bisa ke Seogwipo sama Jeju Earth Dongsan dan Songsan Ilchul Bongting yang udah diakui oleh UNESCO sebagai warisan kebudayaan dunia. Terus untuk di hari terakhirnya ini, hari ke-7, mungkin bisa benar-benar santai-santai sambil menikmati keindahan alamnya, dan juga makan makanan yang memang khas dari Jejunya. Itu biasanya mereka either seafood atau barbecue. Oke,
Dwita, 1 menit
saya.
lagi Mbak Dwita.
Ya.
Firstly, before we get into the business ecosystem, I would like to quickly explain on how wellness is connected to health, to the quality of health, whether it is mental or physical health. And as we can imagine, if health is the goal, then wellness would be the pathway to achieve it. And there are several dimensions, as mentioned before, there are several dimensions of wellness model. As we can see here, they're occupational, intellectual, physical, spiritual, mental, and social, which then equally important to maintain a balanced body, mind, and soul to achieve a full wellness state. And the reason why I bring this up, because this will drive the needs of wellness products and services, which we will be discussing in this presentation. On the next slide, sometimes people get mixed up between medical tourism and wellness tourism. However, wellness tourism is more like a proactive approach where people actually travel with intention to seek for benefits for activities for their personal well-being, while medical tourism, they seek for the urge to cure illness or to seek medical treatments. However, we should see this as an opportunity. how we can embed wellness package into medical tourism. And as we can see here in the global wellness economy, even wellness tourism is the fourth biggest contributor of the economy. It is valued at 436 billion US dollar. And of course, it's growing, especially in Indonesia. We have many natural resources, many places, and as mentioned before by Ibu Rizky, that Indonesia have a prioritized destination, and the ministry is actually developing a wellness city. As we can see here, Borobudur Temple, for example, in Central Java, it is the oldest Buddhist temple, which can be very critical for the soul part, for one of the dimensions model, the spiritual. And of course, it's supported not only with that, but also with the ecosystem, with all the products that are available in Indonesia and all the wellness services. And on the next slide, as we all know, Indonesia has more than 270 million population, and 70% of this population is at productive age, and even over 62% consists of middle income and aspiring middle income, meaning that Indonesia has a big potential for domestic tourism. And also, not to forget that Indonesia is one of the country with the biggest Muslim population, so it would be, and especially with the market here, there are so many products, beauty products, wellness products that are halal certified. So it would be very interesting, and there are big opportunities to tap in Indonesian market. And not to forget that Indonesia also ranked as the second largest world biodiversity. So we can imagine how big is the choices. There are over 30,000 medicinal plants, and also over 40,000 species. So we can imagine how, for the perspective of opportunities to create wellness product, is huge here. And as mentioned before by Ibu Rizky, also we should be able to synergize the wellness tourism with other tourism, like in here with medical tourism, and we can also expand it to fitness, herbs tourism, health science tourism, or sports tourism that is also crucial in one of the dimensions previously mentioned.
Forest, betting, dan seterusnya. Sebenarnya apa sih yang kita mau tawarkan ke publik? Kalau saya lihat dari ratusan press release, brosur, materi promosi yang dikirimkan oleh industri, ada satu pesan kunci yang selalu ada, yang selalu jadi ujung dari semua program promosinya, dan pesannya sebenarnya cukup mengena, yaitu happiness. Jadi wellness itu sangat holistik ya. Tadi udah dijelaskan oleh pemateri sebelumnya, mencakup intelektual, finansial, emosional, mental, semuanya. Jadi apa yang ada di badan, ada yang ada di psikologi kita, apa yang ada di kepala kita, bahkan apa yang ada di dompet kita. Yang pertama adalah harus kreatif. Saya akan share satu contoh menarik yang dilakukan di Malaysia. Ini ada penghargaan namanya Medical Travel Media Awards, diadakan oleh Malaysia Healthcare Travel Council. Bapak Ibu tahu semua bahwa Malaysia sangat besar industri health tourismnya. Penang misalnya, kalau Bapak Ibu terbang ke Penang mungkin lebih dari setengah penumpangnya adalah orang Indonesia. Nah, NTMA ini sebenarnya ajang penghargaan untuk konten terbaik seputar health tourism di Malaysia. Ajang internasional. Tahun lalu kebetulan saya diundang sebagai salah satu jurinya, jadi saya lihat bagaimana mereka melakukannya. Jadi awalnya penghargaan ini diberikan kepada artikel terbaik di media cetak. Industri digital berkembang, lalu diberikan juga kepada artikel digital termasuk blog. Tahun lalu mereka memberikan penghargaan kepada konten kreator terbaik. Jadi Instagram post dan Facebook post pun dapat penghargaan. Nah ini banyak orang menanyakan gimana sih cara promosikan kalau cuma lewat medium-medium tradisional, menyewa influencer dan seterusnya mungkin bisa dibilang terlalu jamak gitu. Malaysia mencoba sesuatu yang berbeda, mengadakan kontes penulisan dan konten digital content untuk mempromosikan health tourism di Malaysia. Yang kedua, next slide. Nah, Bapak Ibu semua, sekarang seiring pertumbuhan wellness tourism, platform untuk mempromosikan dan menjual paket-paket wellness juga berkembang ya. Jadi udah ada banyak marketplace internasional di mana Bapak Ibu bisa menempatkan produk dan servisnya. Jadi bayangin kayak Tokopedia tapi khusus wellness. Next. Ini saya kasih satu contoh. Yang pertama namanya Healing Hotels of the World. Konsepnya mirip Leading Hotels of the World, tapi yang dijual adalah hotel-hotel yang memiliki program wellness atau menonjolkan program wellnessnya. Healing Holidays juga mirip, tapi mereka menawarkan paket, hotel, brand-brand besar juga udah masuk sini. Tapi keunggulan mereka adalah mereka mengklaim bisa menghubungkan antara klien dan terapis atau yogi terkenal di dunia. Jadi banyak orang pengen yoga, misalnya dengan yogi terkenal, mereka membantu menghubungkan antara Bapak Ibu dengan yogi terkenal di dunia. Next. Ini contoh satu lagi. Book Retreats cita-citanya adalah menjadi Airbnb di bidang wellness, health and wellness, lalu Tripreneur, kedua-duanya mirip. Jadi yang mereka lakukan adalah bukan menjual paket hotel atau paket menginap gitu dengan program wellness, tapi menjual wellness center. Jadi misalnya ibu mau pergi ke Bali, mau cari jus detox, mencari pura yang bisa meditasi, mereka membantu menyediakan itu. Jadi yang ditawarkan lebih diverse, lebih variatif. Bahkan kayak kuil-kuil atau rumah ibadah yang dimana orang bisa belajar spiritual gitu juga ditawarkan dalam website ini.
About the future of healthcare industry related to the wellness tourism. See, Malang is actually located in the Bromo Tengger Semeru, and there's also Batu City now, which is really now getting more popular because of the destinations of the family and such, and the culinary and everything. I really want to figure out how, for example, Ibu Megan creating Bali into such of destinations of wellness, and how Ibu Megan probably see healthcare is related to this, all what she's doing. And especially to Dr. Pauline, we are the same coming from hospitals, and how also geriatric is part of a destinations of a certain area for healthcare industries. I hope I'm making my questions quite clear.
Oh, fantastic.
Wondering how that could happen in
From
Malang and relate to also hospitals, other destinations, accommodations and everything, and community itself.
Okay, so I can use BaliSpirit.com, the initial website that I created as an example, and I'll try and shorten this, but what you can do for Malang and for other destinations, this is what I truly believe. In branding is very important, but I only learned this because I believed in something. In 2002, for example, I believed that Bali really needed to change its tujuan from come to the beach and party to come to Bali and appreciate the culture and the spirituality. That's what I really believed in. So I began to say that and repeat it through media channels. I created the website, BaliSpirit.com. I started advertising all around the world using my credit cards, not my money because I didn't have any. But I started advertising around the world that Bali was a destination for spirituality, culture, and holistic living. That's what I said. And then by saying that and representing that in my media channels, that is actually kind of what came true. But it came true because the essence of Bali is actually all of that: spirituality, culture, holistic living environment, right? So for Malang is, I've been to Malang, I just didn't remember if it was East or Central. But Malang is beautiful and has the best apple juice in Indonesia, right? And has a real rich, deep culture. and beautiful architecture and quaint streets and everything. So you take that uniqueness, I think Ibu Yoke was saying earlier about uniqueness, you take that uniqueness and your belief, what the essence of Malang really is, and you brand that in a very subtle way, but constantly. And the more you say it, the more you believe it, the more people believe it, the more it comes true. And I actually believe that's the power also of, you know, the law of attraction and positive thinking. And so Malang has the potential, it's already there. It's just branding it as such. Yeah.
Thank you, Megan. And I think this is also a learning from everyone that branding is very powerful. You know, you have to be consistent on your communication.
Consistency,
The purpose, again, define the purpose. Because Megan started after the Bom Bali, create a purpose on how Bali should be seen. Bali should be seen as spiritual destination. If Malang defined the purpose, a new purpose that is unique, that appealing for the new market, then it's another strategy can follow. Consistent communications, strategic media partners, and everything related to that. I really hope that Indonesia is so rich. Places such as Malang should have another potential as a spiritual destination or a healing destination or anything. Define the purpose first.
The other thing I'd like to say is that when you do communicate repetitively and brand something, there's a lot of people who will copy your idea, right? And actually copycatting ideas is brilliant for sustainability, eco-friendly tourism and wellness tourism, because in order for Bali or these different places of Indonesia and Indonesia to grow in this industry, we all have to be doing the same thing. There might be some that become more famous than others, but if we're all caring about the environment and the trash and the ocean and our bodies and our wellness and our mental health, if we all do that, it's better for all of us, right? And the industry will grow. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I guess maybe to talk to to Wening, for example, on how community-based and turning a place into a destination. Mungkin suatu saat, you know, like imagine if you have a forest and it's already a community-based. Apa yang harus dilakukan nomor satu tuh, Wening?
Oh ya. Is it okay if I answer it in bahasa Indonesia?
Gak apa-apa, nanti you can translate. Thank you.
Oh ya. Jadi mungkin belajar dari pengalaman di Pasar Papringan yang menjadi salah satu kunci adalah komunikasi yang clear ke semua orang yang terlibat. Dengan masalah apapun yang dihadapi atau kegiatan pengembangan apa saja yang sedang akan dilakukan. Begitu pula dalam hal pengelolaan keuangan, di Pasar Papringan saat ini sedang mencoba untuk merombak sistem untuk menjadi lebih transparan. Sehingga tidak ada kecurigaan antar anggota, karena biasanya kalau kita tidak memaparkan apa adanya atau sesuai dengan kondisi atau bagaimana situasi yang kita hadapi bersama tidak disampaikan secara detail, itu justru memancing satu kecurigaan dalam komunitas itu sendiri.
All right. Maybe I'm summarizing like to set up a place and certain purpose involving community, transparency become very, very important, as well as financial management. No matter how big is the challenges, community need to be involved and be part of the purpose itself. Terima kasih, semoga menjawab. Thank you, Werlin.
So over the years, we have seen the concept of wellness travel change. A decade ago, it was not common to put wellness and travel together. And even if it was put together, it was widely widely associated with spa treatments, which is just a spa treatment, and that's not what it's part of wellness travel. But wellness travel is a big industry by itself, within itself. So,
sorry to cut. This is the tagline: wellness travel with mindful experience.
Exactly.
That's powerful.
That's very
amazing.
powerful. That's very powerful. Today the main pillars of wellness industry or wellness travel is about being healthy. And when you are traveling, people travel for various reasons. And the main pillars of wellness industries or travel are health, kick-starting a healthy lifestyle, or doing something which is very beneficial for your well-being. Can we move to the next slide? Next slide, please.
Yes.
And also in the post-pandemic era, there is much more, there is greater focus on wellness travel because people are more conscious about their health, their well-being. So as per the statistics, wellness travel has grown in the post-pandemic era, and it will be growing further. So just to have a look at what is wellness travel and why we should focus on wellness travel. As the population ages, the cost of medical cost increases. Also, the science is getting better and better, and there are new. The science is revealing more discoveries about health and what we should do, what we shouldn't do, and people are more focused on their health, what to eat, what not to eat, what is healthy, what is not healthy. Yoga, how does it keeps you in good mental health as well as your body. So there is a massive focus on that as well, and that's why we should be focusing on wellness travel. And Indonesia is a perfect destination because it offers everything what a wellness destination needs. It has the perfect setting. It has vegetable foods which is required for as a part of some part of wellness travel. Also, it provides wide variety of hiking, yoga, spa treatments and all, and the perfect natural setting which Indonesia offers. And Indonesia was, as per 2017, Indonesia was amongst the top 20 wellness destination in the world. So that says a lot, that a lot can be done when it comes to wellness travel, but obviously all the stakeholders need to come together in this to take Indonesia as a wellness destination to where we all want it to be. And wellness travel can also includes working with the community, because for some people giving back to the society is also a sense of well-being, and so that's also a part of wellness travel in a way. And from 2015 to 2017, wellness tourism market grew from 563 billion to 639 billion. That is 6.5. That is 6.5% growth annually, and that is two times faster than the whole tourism industry put together. So the industry is growing, and as per a prediction, pandemic hit us, but as per a prediction, by 2022, the wellness industry was going to be around 963 billion US dollar. But obviously those figures are not there yet because of the effects of tourism from the pandemic. Can we move to the next slide, please? Yeah. And whenever I talk about wellness travel or tourism in a way, sorry, the one before.
Mundur sebentar, satu lagi.
Yes, that. Whenever I talk about wellness travel or tourism as a whole, it is very important to know that there is no wellness travel without a healthy planet. We've got to have a healthy planet for the tourism industry to be sustainable. And so it is absolutely important that all the entire industry come together and work towards the health of the planet. as Intrepid, we did a survey for our travelers in 2018, and we found out through our thousands of travelers that 91% of travelers were interested, wanted us to do something about the emissions we were emitting from our trips. And over the years, we have become a carbon neutral travel company, and one of our target is to have all of our offices across the world running on green energy or renewable energy by 2025, and have all of our trip running on green energy by 2030. So that is one of our target, and I believe government should support this initiative. We are receiving a lot of support from various government in various countries we operate in, and I do believe that travel companies and the governments in other parts of the world should work together to get to to work towards the cutting down on green gases and the emissions travel industry omits. As I said, Indonesia is a perfect destination, or could be a perfect destination for wellness travel, because it has such a unique setting. It offers everything a destination need or traveler wants. It offers unique sites. It has a perfect natural setting. It offers, it has old medicines, traditions. It offers spa, well-known spas around the world. Indonesia is famous for it. So that's what makes Indonesia a very good destination. And as a travel industry experts and as a part of the tourism industry, it would be really, we are working towards, marketing Indonesia as a wellness destination. At the moment, as Intrepid travel company, we do not have any wellness product, but looking at the market trend and looking at the growth, we are working on a wellness product for Indonesia for 2023 and 24. So we will be offering those products to our passengers, because there is definitely a increasing demand in the post-pandemic era, and that's what we are after. And to conclude, I can see the time ticking, so I'll try to conclude in my time. So to conclude, I will say, I will conclude on 3 points: what Indonesia should do to market itself as wellness destination, and that would be ensure infrastructure investment, support nature-based tourism without destroying nature, and market itself as wellness destination globally by attending various fairs with the government support, and also making visa policy much easier for the people, and collaborate with travel companies to understand what sort of soft adventure or wellness experiences customers are seeking. And time's up. Thank you very much.
Wow. Rafi, thank you so much. And I think you are rushing, but actually there's plenty that we can talk about after on how responsibility, concept, sustainability as part of the wellness, because then we can differentiate wellness destination and into adventure destination. Okay, that's something that we're going to look at, and we take notes about the infrastructure and market it globally, B2B. That is an effort that everybody need to collaborate. Thank you so much, Rafi. You feel the adrenaline to rush that? Don't worry, it's okay. And next to you is Dr. Lianiwati Bati Hakim, anti-aging specialist, Oh, I like that part. President of SIDESCO Indonesia. Doctor, the influence of global age, population, and awareness of physical appearance encourage us, especially in my age, on the anti-aging market. So that's why the market is growing rapidly. A leading brand now forcing into the market. Tell us the future, and then what is anti-aging for you, and please carry on with your presentation.
Okay. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for inviting me here. And I'm short, I apologize because time is too short, so I will cut my presentation. My name is Liani Wati. I'm a president of Cidesco Indonesia, and I run a clinic, cosmetic wellness and anti-aging clinic, and now I'm chairman of ASPI Wellness and Spa Indonesia. Next slide. Anti-aging. My topic is anti-aging market trend and business prospect. Slide. Next slide. What is anti-aging? Why anti-aging? Because anti-aging is a new scope, but in the paradigm after COVID. We can review about aging. Aging is a process characterized by accumulating degenerative damages, resulting in the death of an organism ultimately. Difference, male and female aging is different because of hormonal imbalance. Male is testosterone and female estrogen. Next slide. General effect of aging. Because the set of gradual and progressive changes in an organism that leads an increased risk of weakness, disease, and death. The cell, mitochondrial, cellular, and organic dysfunction, immune impairment of inflammation, oxidative stress, cognitive and cardiovascular alteration, harmful consequences is development and progression of multiple diseases. Next slide. Why skin aging? Because physical appearance is more important for women. That's aging process is begin at 25 years old. So if you age 20, high collagen production keeps skin healthy, plump, and firm. But age 30, collagen level decrease by roughly 1% per year. Age 40, volume loss makes sagging wrinkle but non-static. Age 50, bone and tissue volume shrink, prone to damage in hollow, loose skin. Age 60, visible volume loss in the bones and tissue, damaged skin, and static wrinkle. This is create a jolly and dropping appearance, the eyes and drop and wrinkle in the area, many area. Next slide. Young skin and age skin. Young skin is intact. Age skin is wrinkled. But that's only appearance. What is inside on your body? Because inside going to the outside. Inside, we must know that gut is the second brain. First brain is brain. Second brain is gut. So gut microbiome homeostasis is important. Balanced diet and caloric intake, pre and pro symbiotic, postbiotic. Skin microbiome protect against pathogen, educate hydration and sebum level, and UV protection. This is about sun and pollution. So we must know lifestyle and age-related inflammation is important. Please do physical activity, decrease stress, adequate sleep, control comorbidity, inflammatory drug, and senolytic. Next, the main goal of aging is prolonged life. History of anti-aging. Anti-aging individual work to extend the life and vitality of elderly people when 16th century. 19th century, anti-AIDS advocate generally depict old age as time to be feared and despised. devising myriad procedures in order to eliminate it entirely. Now, the recent anti-AIDS movement clearly mirror many of the beliefs that the longevity advocates a century ago. Not only see old age as a disease, but to be eradicated through injection and operation, but also argue that the old constitute an enormous economic burden. This belief revealed that the new anti-AIDS movement, like its early 20th century precursor, is based on more than simple hair dyes, hormone, or diet. Rather, the ideas and action ultimately serve to marginalize the very process of growing old. Next slide. That is the anti-aging treatment through the time. The first from Cleopatra in 68 before Christ, and then Dr. Gallen with cream from olive oil and beeswax, and then Yuan from Spaniel, Fontaine of Youth, and Elizabeth to make masks with meat in the face, and then for slimming, for peeling, chemical peel in the 1700, and then next until mixture. But Botox is the important thing now. 2002 begin. Okay. So next slide. Okay, market. What happened in anti-aging market? The global anti-aging industry is majorly driven by increasing geriatric population and rising beauty awareness around the world. Now, in US, is in the market, many researchers is about GR, a compound annual growth rate is about 5 until 7%. Next slide. This is global anti-aging market is being driven by rising concern among consumers regarding their physical appearance and aesthetic feature. And the age group of 35 until 55 years dominates the industry, supporting the growth of the anti-aging market globally. Global anti-aging market mostly for skincare industry now. Next slide. This is same, still growing up. Next slide. Next slide. Now, that is the world. Asia Pacific at the biggest market size. So we know that now is millennial generation, Generation I. So if you want to do cosmetic, you can think about it. Next slide. This is global anti-market revenue. Still compound annual growth rate 6% until 2027. So very interesting. Next slide. Yeah, same 7.9 driver, increasing number of anti-aging seminar, conference, and campaign, surge in geriatric population, rising disposable income, technological advancement in anti-aging product and device, growing medical tourism industry, increasing volume of anti-aging cosmetic procedure, and many market players. Next slide. Trend. Oh, sorry. Trend. Next slide. Now, post-COVID is a paradigm shift. Change lifestyle, change habit. Home skincare procedure had a positive effect on the skin after implementing skincare change and became significant. Before the start, most removed their makeup, applied cream every day, and applied color makeup. Since COVID-19, people have shown great interest in skincare and internet. There are more activities on the internet to acquire and purchase knowledge about cosmetics. Next slide. Trend on anti-aging business challenging in developing human anti-aging therapies. A growing number of companies are now focusing on anti-aging science and research. Modern advances abandoning aging-related target and aging population can arguable by driving the current crop of anti-aging biotech. At present, we can state that aging is a complex process. Although there are numerous theories of aging with vocal advocates, there is no consensus among scientists regarding the underlying causes of aging. Aging can be manipulated in a short-lived model system by genetic, dietary, and pharmacological intervention. However, that leave many open questions, so the uncertainty concerning human anti-aging approach remain very high.
Fantastic.
Next slide.
Thank you so much, Ibu. Dr. Liani Wati.
It's a wellness conference. Well, the main reason for this is commercial real estate design playbook is being driven by hospitality and wellness. In fact, office, hotels, leisure, retail, developers are all working much closer together to find ways of attracting people in a safe and healthy environment. So I hope this presentation I run through gives you some ideas about how you can grow your business in terms of thinking about the design element and how to attract people and retain people at your workplace and also your customers. First slide, please. So we're talking about the workplace. It's about people, space, and technology. And now a lot of companies, particular multinationals, having to really entice their workforce back into the office, really pre-COVID. And the way we do this is, it's all driven by hospitality. Employees want that VIP service. They want to feel like a VIP when they come into our working environment. The space, there's got to be more choices. Huddles, booths, it's not just a plain office with lots of desks and chairs. And obviously technology is playing a huge part in that. I just want to point out facial recognition, although we see it on all the films and it's great to have and it all looks very trendy, actually you have to get employees to volunteer that because it is seen as private data. Next slide, please. This is a survey we did before the pandemic, 2020, 21 and 22. And the key points I want to make from this is good quality of life and work balance is now number one. Working in a company that ensures my health and well-being, number two. They weren't before the pandemic. So these are obviously hugely important. And this is just for the office environment. But I think that's great opportunities for many of you who've got companies and businesses in the wellness space that really can capitalize on this. Other surveys that have gone through in the United States now, it is compulsory for all employees to take their holiday allocation. You can't not take it, you don't get paid for it. You have to go and take that because it's part of wellness. That's good news for tourism because it means people are going to be going up and they're going to be doing things. In my lifetime, I do believe that we will get to a 4-day week. Now, those 3 days, people have got choices to make, where they're going to spend them. They're going to want to go to places where they could probably still work if they needed to, but again, it's a healthy environment and there's things for everyone in the family to do. And obviously that's going to drive a lot of wellness. Next slide, please. The future workplace, human-centric. It's all about the people experience. And I think that really counts for everything. And part of that people experience in the hospitality and tourism industry is obviously wellness and all these great things that we've been talking about. Everything from health and beauty, essential oils, food, activities, it's all in there and it's all part of that human experience. The good news is that this big driver is actually saving money. Now obviously we hear a lot about energy and sustainability right now, and obviously that is hugely important. All companies have goals, countries have goals, and there's been a huge push on that over the last 12 months. And we're seeing this can reduce cost on utility bills by 10%. So it's not only just good for the planet, it's good for your business as well. In terms of real estate, desk sharing, different ways of working. We call it hybrid working. So you don't go into an office now and necessarily have your own desk. You'll be sharing a desk. You'll have a locker, and you'll go in and you'll use a certain part of the office that is right for your task at that time. And what will drive that task will be the type of furniture that's there. Enhancing, obviously, staff experience improves productivity. It also is huge for hiring and retaining talent, and corporate image as well. So these are all very, very big plays. Next slide, please. Just want to give you a few visuals, just in terms of some of the things we're looking at. Obviously, Zoom calls, Teams calls, we all spend our life on there. And, you know, and speaking to my fellow panelists before here, it's interesting when we talk about beauty, aging, and health, that actually what's really driven that during COVID was the fact that people got to look at themselves when they're on Zoom and Team calls. And guess what? More adults got their teeth done during that time. People now caring about how they look, hair. So it really plays into all that, the beauty and the anti-aging process. When you can see yourself 4 or 5 hours of the day when you're on a Teams call, believe me, it certainly kicks you into action about doing something about it. Number 2, the office remains the center of the future workplace ecosystem. And what I mean by that is there's lots of talk about work from anywhere, work from home. That is important, but don't forget that this hugely important to all companies is the fact that the office, it drives innovation, it drives brand, it drives teamwork, but it's got to be a place that people want to go to, and it's got to be a healthy environment. These are just some of the ideas that are going into the workplace, and this is very real right now. Next slide, please. So imagine the future. You look at some of the changes of the furniture. Can you imagine 10 years ago that you could sit in a booth and put your feet up on a stool? I mean, my boss wouldn't have tolerated that. But it's a different way of working now, because we want people to be comfortable. What you have to remember now is we're not, MNC's offices, they're not just competing with Starbucks for a meeting venue or co-working. They're now competing with people's homes. And so you've got to have an office that's worth leaving your home for. Or in terms of Jakarta, where I live, worth sitting in your car for an hour to get to that office. Is it worth it? Has it got all those amenities around it that's going to make it a good experience for you? And so some of the design and furniture, and Google was very pioneering on this. Their offices are a place that you want to be in. They're exciting. Next slide, please. Again, just some more aspects on it. There's lots of greenery, lots of space. In most of the JLL office now, we actually have a wellness recharge space area. A lot of people have gymnasiums in there. A big one for us in Jakarta, obviously, is we've got a spectacular prayer room. That's very important to the culture here, and we don't want people to be compromised on when they can go and pray just because it's too far to go. So we provide those types of facilities. Now, obviously, when you're bringing all those amenities into the office, it means that people can achieve their daily goals as well as their work goals. And that de-stresses people, it's good for wellness, and it's good for productivity. Next slide, please. So sustainability, health and well-being. Obviously, indoor air quality is a huge play on this. In most offices that we're designing now and refitting, everybody has monitors on there to tell them what the air quality is in the building. And people have got to be accountable for that. It has to be a healthy space. Recycling facilities, obviously great for the environment, and people really get into that. We have a no plastic policy at JLL. There's no bins under desks. There's certain designated areas, so you've got to walk to the bins to put your rubbish away. And that also drives wellness, because it means people are moving, they're being active around the office. Energy savings we've touched on. Ergonomic design. Now this is huge, and for those in the hospitality industry here, just well-designed chairs are very, very important. Obviously, during COVID period, a lot of people work from home, so a lot of people bought very high-end office furniture. When people now go to hotels, certainly I as a user, my wife, I've got 2 young children, I've still got to get onto work conference calls. I don't really want to have to go back to my hotel room to do that. I would much rather there was a really nice environment in the hotel where I could go and make my call, and I would have the similar type of office furniture that I'm used to in my office, i.e. high-end, a proper chair that's going to be very comfortable for me to sit in, and a good desk. And I think, you know, you can all think about that in terms of your space, especially if you're customer-facing. Custom materials and obviously water are a given. I appreciate that's a slow burner here, and a lot of people, even when we were just bringing in water filters into our office, people were still more comfortable taking water from a machine. But that's really an education and a trust process. Next slide, please. So diversity and inclusion, physical accessibility, and neurodiversity. Obviously, I had to have a slide on this. I know that Solo is very proud that they're doing the Para Games at the moment, and quite rightly they should be. There is huge amounts being done to improve this, and I think really, if you look at signalling, signage, materials and colors, this is all neurodiversity. And a lot of people don't think about this when they're designing space. And what that's really playing to is people who are colorblind, people who are short-sighted, people who have bad hearing. These types of things are all solved by that. So just think about these elements when you're designing your space, because they are important and it makes it inclusive for everybody. Because disability is a huge range. Now, obviously, there's good standard building regulations right now for accessibility for wheelchairs in terms of lifts and ramps.
Yeah, so we want to talk about what is actually the reason why we should involve and empower the community. Next. And also the wellness tourism itself. So, yeah, this is quite interesting that a survey say that 75% of respondents have felt burned out of work. And 2 out of 5 employees in Indonesia experienced job stress during the pandemic. So we never feel like this before. And you know, in the last year, we couldn't move as free as before. So lots of people work from home and felt really stressful, especially for the work with the family. In one hand, we should you know, work with the deadline, and in the other hand, we should take care of our families. So it's kind of really stressful. Next. Yeah, and then this is also a needs for travel for mental health. So travel actually can cope with the mental health problems and etc. So this is, the travel is not longer a luxurious things, but travel is now become our needs. Next. And what actually the transformative wellness travel? Because in Wisestep Travel, we always underline our products to be a transformative travel. And this is the difference between preventive wellness and experience wellness and transformative wellness travel. So we divide it into storytelling and emotional impact. So a wellness covered by the storytelling and have an emotional impact is potentially can give integrated experience. But transformative wellness, it depends on the travelers itself, whether they can change themselves after the travel, and then they can change themselves into a better person. So is it really important to put a storytelling into our wellness products to give the highest emotional impact? That's the role of the community storytelling and then community wisdom, etc. Next. So this is one of the best example. The Sixth Sense in Bhutan. They have 5 different lodges that can be explored, and each of the lodge they have their own story based on the Bhutan unique pillars. If you know that Bhutan's not longer as a KPI as a gross domestic product, but they really stand for the gross national happiness. And then they have a local wisdom, and guests can experience spa, food, and then designs based on the 5 pillars of the Bhutan uniqueness. So it can provide the integrated experience for the tourists. The combine between the wellness and also the traditional local wisdom. Next. So how we can empower the community into our wellness tourism as a value chain. Next. Next. So yeah, one of the best example also in here, visitors can learn about the ancestral heritage of body fitness, body care, exercise is shaped by the local wisdom and also from the local community that can tell actually the history of that kind of products and services. Next. This is also interesting that the village tourism can be a wellness destination actually, because sometimes village tourism can teach us for the tourists from the urban area or from the city area that life is simple, yeah. So they can see day to day in the village. They see that the concept of the self-sufficient is really important to gain the happiness, because the happiness is the core of the good health for our body. Next. Next. Yeah, so we at WiseStep, at previous one. We at WiseStep Travel also have the products that combine between wellness and culinary tour, and also integrate with the some kind of the course conducted by the local community, dancing, and then how to cook with the local cuisines, with local wisdoms, so that the people who join our tour learning more and more. It's not just only product itself, but the history behind it, the storytelling behind it, that makes a wellness and culinary tour become the transformative wellness tour product. Next. So in conclusion, that we have to feature the non-tangible aspect in our wellness product, how the products can release the stress, not only just release the stress, but can transform travelers' mind, and then giving them back, like a contribute to local livelihood and inspire people through journey.
We are really keen to develop what's so-called medical tourism actually. But from the learning journey, we believe that we cannot do it ourselves. It has to be an ecosystem happening in doing so. I have two questions, Ibu Yoke, if I may. To Wise Travel, if I may to ask, Pak Narendra, what's the opportunity to create such a story experience traveling to Malang, East Java, and related to something to the healthcare or wellness, something like that. So I'd like to hear from your experience if you ever seeing how Bromo, Batu, and East Java has any chance to do it. So, and of course, that same question goes to Rajendra. Is that correct? Yes. And knowing the location of Malang itself is not as popular as Bali, of course, and others. So, how do we build a certain destination so that it can attract international tourism across Indonesia? So what's the catch to create that? That's the first question. The second question is to Ibu Doctor from CIDESCO. Ibu, if I may. So from healthcare, from the hospitals, we create a unit called an aesthetic centers, collaborating with dermatologists and aesthetic surgeons. Ibu, in terms of anti-agings, do you have any experience to create such anti-aging services with healthcare institutions that attracts wellness tourism, or something with tourism, you know, something like as a destinations? For example, going to Bali, healthcare, and then you're doing some aesthetics or anti-aging treatments and collaborating with the ecosystems around that. If you have any experiences, we would like to hear any insights. If not, probably you have some ideas how to develop such an idea. Thank you.
Between Majapahit and Blambangan and the kingdom in the past times, and it's really give us a really rich history, right? When it comes to our products, wellness, etc., it's really important to connect between the history, between local culture, and etc. So the people when try to use our products in terms of wellness, we can tell the story behind it, and as well as the rempah-rempah or bahan used for the spas and etc. Can be like storytelling is very powerful. But in case in Malang, we need to dig what actually the story behind it, because you can like make a collaboration with Dinas Pariwisata, as we did before with Dinas Pariwisata Banyuwangi, and they have in their office they have a little museum and the artifacts from the past kingdom, and it sometimes reconnect us in the past times, and they have a connection with the wellness itself. I mean, the artifacts when they do like, I don't know, like medicine and then herbals and some things. So while we deliver our products, then we can tell what kind of history that we related on that products. But again, maybe we have to research deep for the Malang and surrounding. So yeah, maybe we can talk later. Thanks.
Maybe we can talk about that business. But I do agree that you have to do research, go deep from the essence of the place, right? History, the lontar, everything that is related to heritage, value. I think that is something that need to be highlighted. From there, then you look into the potential of the market, which market attracted for such. I think when you talk about sustainability, you talk about the wellness, you talk about the actual storytelling that relate to beauty, relate to health, relate to wellness. Anyone else would like to reply on that one? You familiar with Malang? How do you know Malang? Where is Malang? Tarararam. This is a test.
I don't know where Malang is, I'm sorry, but I'll answer you in a way I would answer to any question related to destination marketing. And so as a travel agent, when we need to promote a particular destination, we need to connect the dots, because most of the time, not every place is Bali where people would just come, have party and leave. That's what Bali I see mostly, and as a travel agent, Bali is not very much used to us, because people come on their own, they land from the flight, they have party on, they have good time, and they leave. They don't need travel agents like us. So going back to your question, what to do, how to promote a destination, it's really important to as a travel agent, how we promote a destination is that we have a fam trip to start with, where we invite media houses on a trip and lots of travel agents and influencer nowadays. Influencer in terms of travel industry. And we invite them on our trips, and when they go back, they write about that particular destination they visited, what is there to offer, what are the experiences are like, and there has to be a unique experience in that particular destination you are trying to promote, because food is, you can get food everywhere, you can get, roads are everywhere and that sort of thing, but what that particular destination uniqueness is the mostly SOP. So that's what we do. We invite those, we organize those fam trips, and when those people go back, they write in their media or their magazines or on the TV, and influencers on their Instagram and Facebook, and that's the way to go nowadays. And also it's very important to connect the dots when you are making an itinerary and there is a new destination. You really need to look into the aspects like how long is the travel time between the two destinations. What is there to do? What is there to do? What the infrastructure is like? Are there good hospitals if things goes wrong? Because things do go wrong, and you need those hospitals. You need the air connectivity. So those sort of things, and also by attending fairs, just like Berlin Fair takes place, promote those destinations in those sort of travel trades, and it seems to work. It takes time. but once it is there, it works really well. So I would say that's the way to go to promote a destination and make sure that infrastructure and government support and local support is there.
Fantastic. So it's really local support is important, yeah?
Absolutely.
Government involvement when it comes to connectivity, accessibility, infrastructure.
Absolutely.
That is another crucial element. From there, inviting fam trips, top agents,
Media houses, influencers.
Yes, that interested on sustainability,
Exactly.
community-based and wellness destination. I like the influencers, or now they call it as opinion makers.
Opinion makers. It just recently came up. It wasn't there 3-4 years ago. It just
Right.
really picked up, and it's helping.
Yes, because travel industry is growing, so certainly people and their connection is also growing. So then connecting the storytelling to highlight the uniqueness into what is tangible, you know, accessibility, connectivity, as well as what do I miss?
The support from the local government.
Exactly. Okay. So good. So I hope that answered Bapak. And the next question is going to Ibu Liani. Ibu Liani, we talk about anti-aging tourism. How do we collaborate with Malang as a destination?
Yeah, maybe in medical wellness in hospital, we must know what is the goal. That is a conventional goal, functional goal, or complementary goal. So we can create traditional, maybe from the ancient of Malang, make bridging with complementary in hospital. If you have dermatologist and aesthetic, that's only a physical characteristic, physical appearance. But actually, more than that. Internist for the hormonal imbalance, brain for the mind, psychologists, because now is for business 3P, profit, planet, and people. And now medicine, not only body, mind, and soul, spirit. So we can combine for that wellness. Creating something in your hospital, because mind is the first brain is mind. The second brain is gut. If your gut problems, your longevity will be decreased. So we can do as a traditional massage, because body massage can make slim. Body massage can make you anti-aging too, and whole lifestyle, diet. What color do you eat? Because antioxidant in every color makes we like, if yellow, maybe more relaxed. That is functional medicine. That's a deep insight. Yeah, like that. You can create everything in your hospital, a unique creating, and a unique integrated creating, because now it's not only a simple one. Collaborating, integrating, and so on. Because if you are only aesthetic and dermatologist, maybe the competence of the doctor not the same. And here in Indonesia, many people trust abroad, going abroad. So better like traditional, because my experience when I bidding in Chicago, I'm not as a doctor. I'm a massager. And the massage, many type of massage can do therapeutic massage, not massage.
Yes, aromatic massage.
But therapeutic massage is unique massage.
Wonderful. So
Yes.
it has the added value.
Yeah, it's your added value. Combined with aromatic, combined with herb and spicy here in Indonesia. It's a unique treatment maybe, because in Congress come to Bali, that's traditional. I talk about traditional, not about medicine, not about high tech, but traditional, natural, nature